Okay, so for your 10th CET in Science 1, this comes under Chapter 2, which is your periodic table. And the first question on the screen, let me repeat. The number of electrons in the outermost shell of an alkali metal is. Now, like I told you, your confusion should be between option A and option B, because C and D are very far off. Either it can be one valence electron, that is outermost, or it can be two. Therefore, I have got answers from most of you. Let me just read out the names. I won't read out the answers. I'll just read out the names. Krish, Sarthi, Nasra, Vaishnavi, Kanav, Nitin, Raj, Samriddhi, Swayam, Sana, Shrishti, Roshni, Shraddha, Sara, Aparna, Aman. Okay. Answer is 1. Answer is A, 1. Now, reply to me in the message box. Whoever got it right, say yes. And whoever got it wrong, just reply no. Okay. How many of you got this answer correct? That is without me saying it. If your answer is no, please look at the question again and listen to the answer. It has 1 electron in the outermost shell. Okay. Now, henceforth, if this question comes in the exam, you should be in a position to answer it properly. Is it fine? Look at the question. I am giving you the questions that are most likely. That is why right now itself, look at the question. Answer is 1. Keep it in your mind. Okay, everyone? Okay. So, number of electrons in the outermost shell of an alkali metal is 1. Good. Now, with that, we'll go to the second one. Start. Give me the answers. In which block of the modern periodic table are the non-metals found? In which block of the modern periodic table are the non-metals found? So we have 4 blocks: S, P, D, F. So in one particular block, you have non-metals. Especially we have inert gases also there. That is the clue I'm giving you. So think about it. What should be the answer? Okay. Akshara, Swayam, correct. Akshara, correct. Shraddha, correct. Sarthi, correct. Kanav, correct. Aman, just check your answer. Vishu, correct. Krish, correct. Shrushti, correct. Aparna, just check your answer once. Sara, correct. Sana, correct. Others try to answer. Again, over here, the confusion should be between option B and option C. Option A and option D are out. They cannot be the answer. So think about it. Where are non-metals found? Either in P block or in D block. S, P, D, F. Okay. Nashra, correct. Aparna, now correct. Very good. Aman, correct. Roshni, correct. Samriddhi, think about it. Think about it again. I'll give all of you 30 to 35 seconds more before I give out the answer. In which block are non-metals found? In which block of the modern periodic table are non-metals found? Samriddhi, now your answer is correct. Now your answer is correct. Excellent answer, Samriddhi. Nitin, correct. Vaishnavi, correct now. Very good. So now the answer will be, in which block of the periodic table? Raj, correct. Answer will be P block. Remember this answer very well. And I'm very happy that most of you gave me the right answer. And most of you gave me the right answer very quickly. So read the question again, read the answer. I got answer as C also from many of you first. Remember, answer is not C. They'll give you such questions where you might be confused between two options and you might select the wrong option. So look at the question properly and look at the correct answer. Answer is P block. Okay, Ruti, answer is P block. In which block of the modern periodic table are the non-metals found? Answer is P block. So I have done 2 questions till now. Okay, first question was regarding the outermost electrons in an alkali metal. Second one was which block has non-metals. And all of you gave me the answers. Now my one simple question to you is, how many of you got both right without me telling the answer? How many of you got both right without me telling the answer? Reply 2. If you have got 1 right, reply 1. And if you have got nothing right, reply 0. So your answer should be either 2, 1 or 0. If it is 1, fine. 2, excellent. 0 means you have to think. Because any one of the answers, you should be able to get it by now. Okay, so majority of you are 2. Very good. If you are 1, please understand which question you went wrong in and try to correct that question. Okay. Okay, very good. I'm getting answers from most of you. Let me read that answers. Okay, Vaibhavi, I hope you have understood where you have made a mistake. Rohini, I hope you have understood where you made a mistake. Shailaja, Vruti, okay. Rishu, Shraddha, okay, good. Very good. Okay, now with the same logic, let me go to the next question. Another question where people tend to give the wrong answer, but read the question carefully and think about it and tell me what should be the right answer. 3 things increase as you go down. 1 thing remains constant. You should tell me what remains constant as you go down. Think about it. All options look correct. Give me one answer which remains constant down the group. It is not across, it is down. Sarthi, excellent answer. First person to give me the right answer. Sarthi, very good. Ridhima, check your answer. Try again. Mega, correct. Rishu, try again. Aman, try again. Sara, try again. Rohini, try again. Ananya, try again. Anand, try again. Roshni, correct. Sana, try again. Vaibhavi, try again. Akshara, try again. Aman, correct. Krish, correct. Nitin, try again. Aparna, correct. Vaishnavi, correct. Sara, try again. Anand, try again. Shushti, try again. Nasra, try again. Swayam, correct. Samruddhi, try again. Ananya, correct. No. Nasra, try again. There's only one thing, so try again. Akansha, very good. Akansha, very good. Shailaja and Vaibhavi, try again. Samruddhi, try again. Ridhima, excellent answer. Sara, correct. Sushti, correct. Okay. I'll read out the question. I'll read out the question for all of you. Which of the following does not increase while moving down the group of the periodic table? So the question is, which of them does not increase as we go down? The key word is does not increase as we go down the modern periodic table. Atomic radius increases, metallic character increases, valence electron remains the same or does not increase, number of shells increases. The right answer will be valence electrons because you are thinking from right to left, it is going down. So now tell me, how many of you give me very sincerely, give me the answer C in the first attempt, not the second, not the third attempt. First attempt itself, how many of you told me that the answer would be valence electrons? Tell me. Please respond. Krish, very good. I saw also many people in the first attempt itself telling me the right answer. Akansha, very good. Sarthi, correct. Okay. Swayam, very good. Okay. So now, remember the questions that I'm giving you. Always there is a confusion between 2 options. Either this or this can be right. So now, if the same question comes in the exam, you should be in a position to give me the right answer. If the same question comes in the exam, you should be in a position to give me the right answer. Okay. With that, let me go to the next one. And this question is very easy, but still many people answer it wrong. I tell you why. But before that, give it a shot. Think about it and give it a shot. The most reactive element in the halogen group. Okay. This I want all of you to give me the right answer. Very good answer, Sarthi. Now I'll not tell you whether your answer is right or wrong. I'll just tell you how many of you gave me the answers. So I got answer from Sarthi, Ridhima, Ananya, Sana, Swayam, Divya, Shushti, Sara, Aman, Rishu, Vaishnavi, Nasra, Krish, Roshni, Megha. Very good. Kanav, Aparna, Vaibhavi. The thing is, I'm getting all options A, B, C, D again. Okay, think about it and answer. Which is the most reactive element in the halogen group? Shailaja, Shraddha, Samriddhi, Shailaja, Samriddhi, Shraddha, Vaibhavi, correct answers. Okay, Akansha also correct answers. Very good. Kana, Aman, good answers. Okay, I'll give you 30-second more. After that, I'll give you the answer. 30-second more. But I'm very happy with your answers because at least you're attempting, at least you're thinking that this is going to be the right answer, which is very, very good. And remember, there are no negative marks. So whenever you see a question, if your instinct tells you this might be the answer, go for it. Go for it. Don't leave any question unanswered in CET because there are no negative marks. Okay. So let me come to the answer of this question. The most reactive element in the halogen group is fluorine. And the most common wrong answer is chlorine. So answer C is wrong. Answer D is correct. That means fluorine is the right answer. The most reactive halogen. If you do not know, now you know. So any question regarding reaction in halogen, highly reactive, reacts very badly, reacts very fast, answer is fluorine. Okay, not chlorine. Most common wrong answer is chlorine, but you should give the answer as fluorine, which is most reactive. There is one more question regarding halogen, which is very common, which will be my next question, but I want all of you to look at it. Don't make a note, nothing. Look at it. If this question comes in the exam, immediately you should know the answer. Learn it right now, looking at the screen. Most reactive element in the halogen group will be fluorine. Remember it as a statement. But again, most of you have given me the right answer for this, which is very good. And the people who have given me the wrong answer have given mostly as answer C. So please don't make that mistake going forward. Okay, very good. You're making mistakes so that in future, if the same question comes, you will not make that mistake. Good. With that, my next question for halogen. Okay, this is the second important question and very common question that comes from halogen. Start. This time, there's no confusion, I hope. Everyone should know it because there are experiments also. So okay, I'm getting excellent answers. 11, 12, 13, 14, 18. Okay. 20 people already answered and all 20 have answered right. 24, 3 people wrong. 27, 30 answers I have got already, out of which 2 or 3 are wrong. Everyone else has given me the right answer. Very common question. I don't think you should make a mistake in this question. Okay, Samriddhi correct, very good. You should not make a mistake in this question. Okay, Vaishnavi correct. All others also have given correct. Who have given before. I'm just reading out some random names. Ridhima right. Okay. Halogen, which is liquid at room temperature. Okay, so which of the halogens is in liquid form? If you have seen many experiments, if you have seen your textbook also, you will know that out of fluorine, bromine, iodine, okay, actually chlorine also, the halogen which is a liquid is always bromine. Okay, now can anyone tell me, okay, extra question, it is not there, but I'm asking you, can anyone tell me what is the color of bromine at room temperature? Means which color liquid is bromine? Anyone can answer in the message box. Answer is bromine, which is correct. Bromine is the right answer. That bromine is a liquid at room temperature. Bromine is a liquid at room temperature. Can anyone tell me what might be the color according to you? Okay, I've got answers. Green, gray, reddish brown. Reddish brown, something like Kalakhata solution. Just think yes or no. Look somewhat like Kalakhata. Kalakhata syrup. Have you seen Kalakhata syrup? Okay. Reddish brown, dark reddish brown, correct. Okay, actually very deep liquid red brown. Correct. I think everyone is answering correct. Okay, very good. Akansha, Swayam, Vaishnavi, Riddhima, Krish, Ananya, Kana, Harini, Sarthi, Aman, Neeraj. You have given me an answer which is correct, but that is very few species of bromine. But correct. Okay, your answer also is correct, Neeraj. Nasra, very good. Okay. So two questions about halogen we did. One is which is the most reactive, and one is which is the most which is liquid hydrogen. So both questions on halogen. So now your answers are improving, and I hope you are enjoying getting the answers. Now let us go with one more. Okay, Neeraj. Right? This question is about noble gases. Noble gases means inert gases. Okay, group 18. Correct? Group 18, noble gases. Start. Again, very common question, but again, people give me wrong answers because of confusion. Look at it and tell me. Which of the following is the lightest inert gas? Argon, helium, argon, helium, neon, or xenon? Which of the following is the lightest inert gas? Okay. Many people are giving me answer C. Okay. And also D. Remember, you have hot air balloons. You have hot air balloons, correct? So, what they use in hot air balloons? Remember hot air balloons? We have hot air balloons. Which gas they use in hot air balloons? You might have seen movies, or you might have personally been on a trip on a hot air balloon, and you have balloons also which go on the ceiling. They put a gas, correct? They put a gas. Remember, if you leave that balloon, it will go. Answer is helium. Answer is helium. Okay, not neon. Neon is used for lights. Okay, fancy lights. Helium is the lightest gas. That is why it is used in hot air balloon. Now there is one more question. Okay, now listen to me carefully, which had come in 2018 test. The question is, and you can answer, and you are free to answer in the message box. Think about it. Hydrogen is 5 times lighter than helium, but still in hot air balloons, we use helium instead of hydrogen. There will be some options, but I'll not give you options. Can you tell me why? Let me repeat. In hot air balloons, you use helium gas, but actually hydrogen gas is 5 times lighter than helium gas. But in hot air balloon, I don't prefer hydrogen. I prefer helium, even though it is little heavier. Even though it is the lightest inert gas, among all the gases, it is not light. In inert gases, it is light, means in noble gases. Why do I choose helium over hydrogen? Think about it and give me the answer. Okay, it's a general knowledge question also. If you have participated in Olympiads, this question might have come. Think about it. I will repeat the question once more. In hot air balloon, why do I use helium instead of hydrogen, even though hydrogen is lighter? Start. Think about it. Mega, excellent answer. Sarthi, excellent, same answer, very good. Kanav, perfect. Think about it. I got 3 right answers. Sara, perfect answer, correct. Exact reason. I am very happy that you have given me the right answers. Sarthi, excellent answer. I think Sarthi, you have given me answer in 2 words, but those 2 words have conveyed the whole sentence. Very well written, sir. Good. Others, try to answer. The word itself is inert gas or noble gas. You should get the answer from that itself. What is the meaning of inert gas or noble gas? Okay. Okay, good. I'm getting very good answers. Its answer is direct. Okay. An answer can be given in 1 word also. Why do I choose? Aparna, good answer. Excellent. Neeraj, can you give me more explanation on that? Your answer is correct, but can you give me more explanation on that? Why? Okay. Answer is helium is stable, means it is a noble gas. It does not catch fire easily, whereas hydrogen catches fire. And if you see hot air balloon, there is fire in between. Hydrogen is very risky because it will react. Okay, that is why I got one answer, which is from, I tell you, Sarthi. He said it supports combustion. Combustion means heat. Hydrogen supports combustion, that is why it is not used. And Vaishnavi gave me answer in one word, incombustible. Excellent. I said I want answer in one word. Answer is incombustible. And even Kanav gave me the same answer, helium once. Easily it is stable. All the answers are correct. So whoever has given me the answer, whoever has responded to me have given me the right answer. So my question and answer together is, why is helium preferred is because it is incombustible, means does not catch fire easily, and it is stable compared to hydrogen. Why not other inert gases? Why only helium? Because among inert gases which do not react, helium is the lightest. That is why I'm using helium. Okay. With that, let me go to the next question. Start. Tell me, what should be the answer for this particular question? What should be the answer for this particular question? Okay, I'm getting answers from mostly all of you, which is good. Okay. I'm getting answers between A, B, and C. Okay, D is not the answer, that is fine. But I'm getting equal answers between A, B, and C. When two or more reactants combine in a reaction to form a single product, it is called. Now the trick is, you know the answer very good. But do you know all the options? Means do you know what is a combination reaction? What is a decomposition reaction? What is a displacement reaction? And what is a double displacement reaction? Very important to know the definition of all. What is a combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement, and double displacement. And I'll give you one line for each, okay, which is there in the module as well. But before that, let me give you the answer for this. Answer for this. Vaibhavi correct, Akansha correct. Okay. Answer would be, let me give you the answer. Answer would be, it is a combination reaction because two or more reactants are combining to give you a single product, and that is why it is called as combination reaction. Now I want all of you to make a note of in one line. Let me show you. So this is from a module itself where all four types of reactions are mentioned. And why did I show this? Because in the exam, very likely that they give you this example. Which example? They show you this reaction and they ask you what kind of reaction it is. So I want you to make a note. Before you make a note, let me explain. Like we did, there are four types of reaction. One is combination, one is decomposition, one is displacement, and one is double displacement. What can come in the exam is they will give you the example like this. And then they will ask you which kind of reaction it is. Okay, so you should know what is happening. So what is combination reaction? Two or more substances combine to form a single product. So 1 and 2 combine to form a single product. This is called combination reaction. So I want all of you mainly to write the example because the same example might come in the exam. So you have to write first this, then we go one by one to the next. So write what is combination reaction and especially write the example in your book, okay, which will help you while studying. And once you're done writing combination, put a dot so that we go to the next, and so on. Okay, start. Okay. Quick. As soon as you finish, please put a dot so that I can take the next topic. Okay, now next is decomposition reaction. Decomposition means decompose. Decompose means one thing breaking into something. One thing breaking into something. So a single reactant breaks into two or more simpler products. Means one thing breaks into two or more simple products. Therefore, this is an example of decomposition reaction. Exactly opposite of combination. You might have heard of nuclear fusion and nuclear fission. You know what is fusion and fission? Fusion means when many things come together to form a single nuclei, and fission is when one thing breaks into smaller nuclei. Same thing, combination, many small things combine to get a bigger thing, and decomposition means one thing splits into many small things. Therefore, your next thing you need to write down is your decomposition reaction and write down this particular statement. Especially the example you need to write down, which will help you a lot. Therefore, when you see the example or when you see the question of a reaction, okay, when you see the example in the question, we should be in a position to identify which kind of reaction is it. So it is your decomposition reaction. A single reactant breaks down to form two or more simpler products. Okay, now the third one will be displacement reaction. Displacement reaction means more reactive element displaces less reactive element. For example, Zn plus CuSO4, Zn will displace Cu, so Cu will be out to form ZnSO4 plus Cu. Okay, that is zinc. Okay, now Zn plus CuSO4, Zn will displace Cu and Cu will be outside, so it will become ZnSO4 plus Cu. What happens is Zn has displaced Cu. So make a note of displacement. So remember, there are two types of displacement. One is single displacement, what we have done right now. And there is one more, which is double displacement reaction, where this happens twice. That is the next one. But now make a note of displacement reaction. Now make a note of displacement reaction. So I got to write down more reactive element displaces the less reactive element from its compound. Okay. And the next one is double displacement reaction, where this thing happens twice. For example, ZnSO4 plus BaCl2, Ba will displace Zn over here and Zn will displace B over here. Two times it is happening. Therefore, I get BaSO4 plus ZnCl2. This kind of reaction is called as double displacement, or it is also called as exchange, because Zn and Ba have exchange. So there is exchange of ions between the reactants to form products. So please make a note of all four, and in future, if any example comes, you should be in a position to identify whether it is a combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, or a double displacement reaction. Okay, make a note, all of you. And if you're finished writing all four, please put one dot with the examples. If you're finished writing all four with the examples, just put one dot. Okay, Shushti, good. Okay, Kanav, good. I'll leave it on for 30 to 40 seconds more, then I'll go to the next answer. Thank you, Neeraj. Okay, now let us go to the next. Another common question, and try to give me the answer. Ananya, correct answer. Very good answer, Ananya. Sarthi, correct. Sara, correct. Megha, correct. Roshni, correct. Excellent. Very, very quick answers. Continue. Continue. Others, try to answer. Aparna, correct. Sara, correct. Very good. Shrushti, correct. Rohini, just check. Divya, just check. Sana, correct. It's a very common question. It's also there in your text. It has also come before in the exam. So please remember this carefully. Okay. Fresh lime turning milky. Who is responsible for fresh lime turning milky? Very, very common question. Neeraj, excellent answer. Very good. Kanav, try again. Aman, try again. Swayam, correct. Very good. Krish, try again. Rohini, correct now. Good. Kanav, now it's correct. Wow. Good. Aman, try again. Divya, try again. Samriddhi, correct. Good. Okay. I'll wait for some time and then I'll give you the answer. Nasra, correct. Aman, try again. Correct. Aman, correct. Good. Now you have given me the right answer. Akansha, try again. And once you give me the answer, I'll tell you the answer on the screen as well. When, no problem, no problem. When carbon dioxide is passed through fresh lime, it turns milky. Remember this statement even in your 11th and 12th, if you're taking science. Very, very common experiment, very common example, very common question. And many times it comes, and it comes so that you get the right answer. Means they want you to get the right answer, so they give you this question. Answer is when carbon dioxide passes through lime water turns milky. And people try to give me answer as C, which is a little confusing, but answer is B, that is carbon dioxide, CO2. Okay. Now, talking about reactions, 1 minute, talking about reactions. See here, there are 3 types of reactions again, which can come in your exam, again with the reactions. Okay, so one is oxidation, one is reduction, and one is redox. Redox means reduction plus oxidation together. Now, if you look at the definition of oxidation reaction, it means anything that gains oxygen or loses hydrogen, one and the same thing. Any substance that gains oxygen, okay, is oxidation. And see the next one, reduction. Substances that loses oxygen is reduction. Loses oxygen means gains hydrogen. Now, if you look at the first definition of oxidation reaction, substances that gains oxygen, that comes under oxidation, and under reduction, substances that gains hydrogen, or even better, substances that loses oxygen. So over here, oxygen is added and oxygen becomes a part of the product. This is called oxidation. Okay. And anytime when I gain a hydrogen, that is called as reduction. Gaining oxygen is same as losing hydrogen. Gaining hydrogen or losing oxygen come under the same category. Redox, I will do it in some time. In the meantime, I want you to write oxidation and reduction in your notebook. Mainly, I want you to write the example because they are definitely going to give you one reaction and they are telling you to identify whether it is oxidation or reduction. Okay, so please do that. Make a note, and once you're done, redox I will tell you in some time. Redox I will tell you in some time, but before that, finish oxidation and finish reduction. So once you finish, just put one dot. Oxidation, gaining oxygen. Reduction, losing oxygen or gaining hydrogen. So you know what is oxidation. You know what is reduction. Now we go to the next one as well. Now we go to the next one as well. Now, if both happen simultaneously, that means if I gain hydrogen and lose oxygen, or gain oxygen and lose oxygen together, that means reduction and oxidation is happening simultaneously. For example, look at this. Here, H2 becomes H2O. So your oxidation is happening. Here, CO loses oxygen and becomes Cu. So your reduction and oxidation is happening simultaneously. So reduction plus oxidation is called as redox reaction. So redox is a combination of two words, reduction and oxidation. And see the definition that they have given. It is one reactant gets oxidized and the other reactants get reduced simultaneously. Means in the same reactant, then it becomes a redox reaction. So redox is a combination of two words. Like you have brunch. What is brunch? Breakfast plus lunch is brunch. A modulator plus demodulator is modem. Similarly, reduction plus oxidation is redox. So please make a note of this. Then I go to the next MCQ as well. Start making a note of this. Yeah. So in the exam, what will happen is they'll give you one reaction. They'll tell you identify which it belongs to, whether it's oxidation, reduction, redox, none of the above. Then you have to identify what happens and you have to see the reaction. Same way for over here, where we had different kinds of reaction. So this was for combination, decomposition, displacement, and double displacement. One more category with respect to oxygen is oxidation, reduction, and redox. Okay. Now, okay. I'll leave it on for some time more. Finish it. Okay. Then I go to the next MCQ. Okay. Now I'll go to the next MCQ. Please try to answer this. Another common question. Start answering. What is the chemical formula for rust? Start. Another very common question and a very simple question also. Start. Okay. I got answer from Sarthi Mega. I'll give you 1 minute. Please try to answer. Okay, let me see your answers. Neeraj correct, Vaishnavi try again, Swayam correct, Sara correct, Samruddhi correct, Aman correct, Krish correct, Rishu, Ananya, Shushji, Sana correct, Nasra try again, Ananya correct, Aparna correct, Shraddha, Megha, Sarthi correct. Others try to answer quickly. I've got answers from mostly all of you. Try to give your answer. What is the chemical formula for rust? Akansha, correct. Good. Pranav, correct. Okay. Let me give you the answer. Answer is Fe2O3.XH2 or Fe2O3.H2. Answer is option A. And I think most of you gave me right. There is one more question regarding rust, which is very, very common. Now I'm asking you, I'm not giving you the options. You have to tell me the answer directly. What is the chemical name for rust? Means what is rust called as? Rust is a common name, right? What normal people use. In chemistry, what is the chemical name of rust? That is my question. Don't Google. You think, or if you look at the correct option also, you'll be able to get it. What is the chemical name for rust? Ananya, excellent answer. Mega, try again. Sarthi, very good answer. My question is very simple. My question is, what is the chemical name for rust? Krish, good answer. Krish, good answer. Akansha, correct answer. So I got answers from Ananya, Sarthi, Krish, Akansha, Mega. Shrushti, correct. Very good. Shrushti, correct. Kanav, correct. Okay, I'll give you some time more. There are no options. I'm asking you so that when the option comes, it is even easier. But this is something you need to know normally also. Okay, for example, if I ask you what is the normal name for vinegar, chemical name, you'll tell me it is acetic acid. What is the chemical name for chalk? Chalk is calcium carbonate. Okay, similarly, what is the chemical name for rust? Answer is iron oxide. Answer is iron oxide, or even better, hydrated iron oxide, because H2O is there. Hydrated iron oxide, that is the name, but even iron oxide is the right answer. So if you have given me the answer as iron oxide, then your answer is correct. Exact answer would be, since H2O also is there, the actual answer would be hydrated iron oxide, but iron oxide also is fine. Okay. Now, another type of classification for reaction is exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. Again, it's a very common thing. By now, you might have known it. It comes under thermal, that is in heat. Exo means giving out. Endo means taking it in. For example, enduring pain means taking in the pain. Exerting means giving out. So for example, if you see the definition of exothermic reaction, it is a reaction in which heat is given or evolved. So if you see the reaction in the product side, heat is given. And if you see endothermic, it is a reaction in which heat is absorbed, where heat is absorbed and then you get a product. So exo means heat is given out and endo means heat is taken to get something. And again, I want you to write the example of it very, very carefully, because again, this is a different classification of reactions. One is exothermic reaction and one is endothermic reaction. So please make a note, write the definition and write the example as well. Start. Remember, in exothermic reaction, heat comes in the product side, and in endothermic reaction, heat comes on the reactant side. Okay, so start. So I've given you three types of classification. Yes, I will give you this material also after the class. I will give you the material as well so that you can refer. So we have done many kinds of reactions: reduction, oxidation, displacement, double displacement. Now we have done exothermic and endothermic as well. So you should be in a position to identify all the kinds of reactions. So please make a note of exothermic and endothermic as well. Okay. I will show Akansha. I'll show you the first MCQ again. Don't worry. Just let everyone finish writing this, then I'll go to the first MCQ. Okay, Akansha. Okay, now let me show you the first MCQ, Akansha. So Akansha, once you're done making a note, let me know. Okay, I'm just showing you the first MCQ again. Answer will be A itself. Okay, answer will be A. Okay, Akansha done. Please let me know. Oh, thank you. Okay, so I have tried to cover most of the MCQs of chapter 2 and chapter 3. Chapter 2 and chapter 3. I'll give you this material also. And in my next class, I'll try to cover the next chapters of Science 1. My intention is you should be aware of all common MCQs. So with that, we stop for today. I'll give you the material. You can ask from any one of our faculties that will to you. Please give me a feedback whether you enjoyed, you learned something, okay, or anything that you want to learn. You can put it in the message and give it to me, and then you can log off. Next week, we will continue with even more questions. Okay? Done, sir. The next time we'll do better. Done. So if you have any chapters, Neeraj, 1 minute, I will show it to you. Yeah, Neeraj, take it. Thank you, Sarah. Neeraj, I hope you have got it now. Thank you, Rohini. Yes. So you can leave your feedback and you can log off. I will continue next week. It was good. You guys interacted very well. You gave me very good answers. And I think even though no one was talking, I got all your answers. So thank you for that. Next week, we'll go with the same Josh. Okay. So till then, thank you. Till then, bye-bye. Thank you, Swayam. I think Rohini, this might be a problem at your end, but no problem. I'll take care of that next time. Thank you, Nitin. Next week, Divya, next week. You'll have it every day, but my lecture will have it next week. Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Nitin. Thank you, Nusra. Yeah, Parna, let me show it to you. Check up. Understood, Aparna?